Good evening and welcome to our special review programme of the 2013 NatWest Island Games in Bermuda. And it's not a bad place to be.
We've got friendly people that are happy, and folks just come here to party and eat good food and have a great time.
Personally, I love Bermuda spirit. Like, we got a natural home feeling here. Everyone is so loving. Since it's small, everyone's like, hi, hey, it's very friendly, you know what I mean? And you wake up and it's like paradise. Wow, it's really nice, you know?
After 2 years of anticipation and build-up, the 15th NatWest Island Games, the first to be held on the island of Bermuda, had finally arrived. For 75 of our athletes across 9 sports, it was the culmination of 2 years of hard work. Time to translate all the early mornings, late nights, sweat and pain into success in the sporting arena. Team Gibraltar would compete in athletics, badminton, cycling, sailing, shooting, squash, swimming, tennis and triathlon.
We always look for personal best. If you give me a personal best, what more can you ask?
I don't know what to expect, but I am looking forward to the experience.
Definitely want to get a personal best and also a Commonwealth consideration score.
Personally, I mean, it's my first Island Games, so I just want to race well, race as fast as I can.
Well, I don't expect to win anything, obviously, but I hope to play well and enjoy myself.
For a select few, there was a chance of winning gold.
I'm feeling reasonably confident and hopefully that will be enough on the day.
I enter every competition aiming for gold. So I'm shooting 8 times, I'll aim for 8 golds. If I don't get 8 golds, I know that I've gone there and I've done my best, and hopefully that I've helped my teammates bring home some more medals.
Some were hoping to challenge for medals.
You can certainly push for both an individual medal and also a team medal, and possibly in the team event, you know, we could be challenging Guernsey for gold.
Be good to get a medal in the doubles again. I think I'm seeded 3 in the singles as well, so hopefully can see what I can do there.
While others were just trying to go faster, higher or further than they'd ever gone before.
National records and finals are a bit too far from where I am right now. A personal best would be great for me, as I've been training towards that.
It's one of my first international competitions for athletics, so it'll be a really good experience for me.
All of them wanted to do Gibraltar proud, especially amongst the beautiful backdrop of this stunning island. These were the first games to be held outside of Europe since they began way back in 1985. A member of the Island Games family since 2003, it was felt the time was right to give Bermuda the chance to host the Games and be given the privilege of taking them across the Atlantic for the very first time. Most islands sent slightly, and in some cases, drastically depleted squads given the expense involved in travelling to and then staying in Bermuda. Of the 24 member islands, 23 competed. Rhodes opting not to compete given the parlous state of the Greek economy. Gibraltar too had a smaller team, with football, basketball and volleyball all choosing not to enter. Team Gibraltar received sponsorship for the Games from insurance company Argus, which has offices in Gibraltar, but which is based in Bermuda itself.
Totally important. Been there in Gibraltar with our company since 2004, totally committed to that jurisdiction, and this is one way of giving back to the community out there. Happy to sponsor, and we'll be doing this, I assure you, for a long time to come.
And what is it about sports and the Island Games in particular that really took your eye?
It fits our DNA, totally fits our DNA. Young, upwardly mobile, youth of today, and the fitness aspect. We're a health insurer in Bermuda. We're not quite yet in Gibraltar, maybe soon. Whole thing just fits nicely.
With the opening ceremony approaching, many of Gibraltar's medalists from the Games at the Isle of Wight 2 years ago were excited about mounting another challenge in 2013.
We saw the draw earlier today, and I think we can go one better. We really want to try and get to the final this year.
Playing quite a lot, training quite a bit, so yeah, I've got every chance. I've got quite a tough first game against Nick Kine from Bermuda, who's used to be quite highly ranked, so see how that one goes and then see how I go from there.
We've got here, and there's still some issues to sort out with the range, with the schedule, and we're still a bit out in the open. We don't really know what's going on at the moment, but we're still looking forward to it anyway.
You know, I always enter the games very, very, very optimistic, and then we'll see how it goes. But I've been training hard and done a lot of cross training back in San Diego, and we've got a great team, and I've got great doubles partners and mixed doubles partners, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. And you know, anything can happen. Look at Wimbledon.
Team Gibraltar also had its fair share of debutantes, especially in swimming. A team that included 14-year-old Kate McCulloch and 13-year-old Cristina Linares.
I'm really, really nervous, but I'm just swimming for my team, so I'm happy, and I'm happy to represent Gibraltar in the Island Games.
I am really, really excited. I want PBs, really, I do.
For some members of Team Gibraltar, the Bermuda Games promised to be their last. Among them, athlete Dominic Carroll and also badminton player Ivan Dearo, who between them have racked up 18 Island Games appearances.
Well, the fact that this is the last one is what's motivated me to train even more for this. Started in 1987 with my first games. Always played, always trained, been free from injury, enjoy the game tremendously. Enjoy beating the youngsters as much as I can, and this will be my last one.
But Ivan, you're still looking well, still looking fit, still playing well. Why retire now?
It's not the training and the playing, it's a recovery after that, you know, so, and then there's other priorities as well, so at one point you've got to call it a day.
Well, I'm still in my 20s, even though they keep tagging me as a veteran, but I mean, we've got a good young team coming up, possibly next Island Games or the one after. We should have a really strong team with them, but I mean, this is a team in transition, really.
The sense of anticipation and excitement ahead of the Bermuda Games was high, given the obvious novelty factor, and the opening ceremony didn't disappoint. Tropical colours and sounds filled the National Stadium as Bermudians showcased just how fun and exciting their island really is. The honour of being Gibraltar's flag bearer was given to swimming coach Joe Santos, the heartbeat of local swimming for decades and whose love affair with the Island Games stretches back to 1987.
Special day really to be having given the honour to march in front of these sportsmen and women, you know, truly dedicated. It's really a big honour.
The water ceremony tradition was also continued, with representatives of each island pouring water from their home island into a communal boat. 17-year-old sailor and Island Games debutant Adam Alcantara was chosen as Gibraltar's water carrier.
I feel quite honoured to be the water carrier. I was quite surprised when they told me, but it's a good opportunity. You know. But I'm quite proud to be here. I've gone off to do competitions, but this is one of the bigger competitions I've been sent to. Also, Bermuda is quite a destination to go to.
Bermuda was awarded the Games after a successful campaign in 2007. The man who led that campaign was John Beard, the head of the Bermuda 2013 Organising Committee.
On behalf of the Organising Committee of the NatWest Island Games 2013, I thank you all for being here this evening to witness the opening of these games. A particular thanks to over 2,000 of you who have travelled across the Atlantic. Thank you so much. You are our guests, the guests of Bermuda, and we will, in true Bermudian style, do all we can to make you welcome and ensure you enjoy these games.
International Island Games Association President Jorgen Pettersson had a message for the athletes that went to the very core of what the Island Games are all about.
Some of you have crossed the ocean. You have trained harder than most people understand. You have continued even when your body has begged you to stop. You have followed your own beacon, which has led you to success and brought you over the oceans. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Good luck to all of you.
Then came the moment that absolutely raised the roof at the Bermuda National Stadium. A rousing and awe-inspiring welcome from the Bermudian Premier, Craig Cannonier.
This is an electrifying time, isn't it? Brilliant! Most of all, I want to acknowledge, there goes a speech, I want to acknowledge you, those of you who have traveled across the waters, because the greatest gift that you will receive is not the medal, it's okay, it's not the medal. All right! The greatest gift that you receive may not be a medal, but the greatest gift is the fact that you've overcome the waters to come here to be gifted with one another. Because the world has become a very small place. And one of the most important things with the fact that the world is getting smaller, it is the brotherhood of our neighboring countries, our neighboring islands. And so we salute you for coming here to the Bermudaful shores of Bermuda, where the sand is pink and the people are beautiful. To a Bermudaful Bermuda, where our arms are open wide, acknowledging the fact that without you, we're not nothing. We're just in the middle of the Atlantic. And so we're looking forward to these games. I'm looking at the Bermuda team here, and I want you to know that Bermuda's got on its running shoes. It's ready. So I'm going to leave it for the governor to open up the games. I don't want to take that joy from him. But it is exciting and electrifying to welcome you to our shores. Thank you once again. And Bermuda, let's give our visitors a welcoming hand and cheer. Bermuda!
How do you follow that? Well, with more music and colour, a tonic that made for an ideal start to Bermuda 2013. So, with the opening ceremony done, attention turned to day one of competition on Sunday morning. The sun rose with the early promise of medals for Team Gibraltar. Triathlon got proceedings underway with a 7:30 start at the stunning and unspoilt Clearwater Beach on Bermuda's northeastern tip. With 9 triathletes in the field, Gibraltar was hopeful of a medal in the team events and possibly a medal placing for Chris Walker in the individual race. We were meant to have 10. Sean Randall, though, pulled out after suffering a recent bout of pneumonia. 44 triathletes lined up on the beach for the opening 1,500-metre swim, with temperatures likely to hit 30 degrees during the course of the race.
Buoy, and then doing a triangular course. They'll head left to the other red marker buoy, sweeping down this hill at the roundabout at the end of the straightaway, and then they sweep around here and head out on the second lap.
First out of the water in 20 minutes and 11 seconds was 17-year-old Luke Winberg of Guernsey, a member of the Team GB junior swimming programme and a relative newcomer to triathlon. He was trailed by Orkney's Bobby Ogue, who laid an early claim for the gold medal. Chris Walker entered transition for the cycling phase in 7th, 45 seconds behind Winberg. Andrew Gordon lay 11th. Veteran Sigurd Haviland was 14th. Robert Mador emerged in 18th. Mark Francis 20th. And Richard Muscat 22nd. Meanwhile, Derek Barbara, Edgar Harper and Mark Garcia were also inside the top 30. Into the 40-kilometre cycle, and Ogue took control after Winberg fell away. He was trailed by Gudmundur Johansson of the Faroe Islands and also one of the pre-race favourites, Ian Lepelli of Guernsey. Chris Walker led for Team Gibraltar, sitting in 4th. While Richard Muscat gained 10 places to move up to 12th. Robert Mador moved up to 16th after the first lap of cycling, while Mark Francis was also up into 19th. But there was heartbreak for Andrew Gordon, who suffered a puncture and had to abandon the race, having moved inside the top 10. Ogue continued to lead through lap 2, widening the gap over Johansson, Walker and Lepelli to over 2 minutes. Richard Muscat was having a tremendous ride, moving inside the top 10 after lap 2, while Mark Francis and Sigurd Haviland were also close in behind. And it was a similar story at the end of the cycle, as triathletes entered transition for the run. Ogue completing the 40 kilometres in 59 minutes and 36 seconds, one of only 3 men to break the hour mark for phase 2. Peter Fennick of the Shetland Islands was over a minute quicker on the bike and entered transition in 2nd. Johansson trailed in 3rd for the Faroes, with Chris Walker still in with a chance of a bronze, sitting in 4th. Muscat entered and left transition in 10th, trailed by Sigurd Haviland in 12th and Mark Francis in 15th. The heat began to take its toll at the start of the 10-kilometre run to the finish. Ogue held firm, keeping alive a gap of 1 minute and 8 seconds halfway through the run. Fennick and Johansson remained close together in the chasing group. Chris Walker, though, began to lose touch in 4th. But Richard Muscat and Mark Francis improved their positions to send pulses racing as attention now turned to the chance of a medal in the team competition. Mark Garcia certainly thought so, finding the energy to rouse the crowd as the race neared its end. As the Bermuda sun tightened its grip, it was Bobby Ogue who pushed through the pain barrier to finish first for Orkney in a great time of 2 hours and 4 seconds before literally collapsing at the line. He'd then need medical attention for heat exhaustion after a monumental effort in strength-zapping conditions. Gudmundur Johansson of the Faroe Islands claimed the silver medal just over a minute behind Ogue, while Peter Fennick of the Shetland Islands was 3rd to win the bronze medal. For Chris Walker, it was a close call. 4th place in 2 hours, 3 minutes and 36 seconds.
Well, obviously disappointed with 4th, one place off the podium again. But to be honest, I had a good race. I executed as well as I could. It was much better than Rhodes. I think I performed as well as I was going to today, so I'm personally pleased with the performance. Just disappointed that there were 3 people better than me today.
Was there a point in the race, perhaps during the run or the end of the cycle, where you thought 3rd place was still attainable?
I think midway through the cycle, I could still see 2nd and 3rd. And I thought if I could hold it, and depending on how strong their run was going to be, I had a chance. So I held the distance on the bike, but unfortunately their run was as strong as my run, and I couldn't make any time up on the run. So, by the time we got to the end of the 3rd lap, I knew then, that it was unlikely I was going to do it. But, to be honest, as we've said right from the beginning, we've been training as a team of 10 for 18 months, and we've always focused on the team event for this. It wasn't about any one individual. The 10th fastest has been pushing the 9th, the 8th, the 7th, the 6th, the 5th, So we've all been pushing each other, and we've all raised our standards significantly. So, I'm just delighted for the team. We're all supporting each other out on the course. I gave Mark Francis a right talking to for the last 200 metres, and the poor guy was completely out of it. But he pushed hard, and hopefully those few seconds have got us team gold.
It was now a case of keeping a close eye on how the other teams fared. The Isle of Man and Guernsey looked strong during the cycle, but fell away in the run. Orkney looked the likeliest rivals, with 3 men inside the top 20. Richard Muscat capped a tremendous race, crossing the line in 7th in 2 hours, 7 minutes and 29 seconds. A great time for a relatively new triathlete. With the top 3 times counting towards a team event, Mark Francis ran out of his skin and used every last ounce of energy to cross in 11th, before also collapsing at the line. Further down the field, Edgar Harper was 22nd, Sigurd Haviland was 26th, Robert Mattel was 32nd, Mark Garcia was 35th, and Derek Barbara 40th, as all bar one of Team Gibraltar's athletes completed the race. Then came the agonising wait of around an hour before the team times were added up and news filtered through of a gold medal for Team Gibraltar. A cumulative time of 6 hours, 20 minutes and 55 seconds, good enough to beat Orkney by 91 seconds.
I'm delighted. We targeted the team event right from the start 18 months ago, and the whole team has been focused on performing today and bringing home a medal, and we're delighted to have got gold.
Robert, the top 3 times counting towards the cumulative time, but how much of a team effort was this?
Oh, absolutely. We usually train together, and it's just testament to the hard work that we've put during the last 12 to 18 months. Hard graft, endless hours, and just a good effort from everyone in the team.
Yeah, sure. Mark, we saw you collapsing at the line at the end there. How conscious were you of how the rest of the team members were doing, and how much support did you give each other on the way round?
Well, we've been giving each other a lot of support. Particularly, Chris made me aware in the run, that I had to push that extra bit because Andrew obviously wasn't present. Unfortunately, he had technical difficulties with the bike. So I had to give that little extra push in order to achieve what we've achieved today. And but it's all been, through the support of the whole team. It's been a brilliant time and a brilliant experience to be with them all.
Richard, for yourself, 7th in the individual competition. How conscious were you of how the other teams were doing, and who did you think was your biggest threat and your biggest rival?
Well, to be honest with you, with the heat, I didn't know where we were. But obviously, Chris was telling me all the time that we were doing well, so I kept on pushing and obviously tried to sprint at the end, but it was quite hard.
And Sigurd, a few guys that can't be here in Bermuda for 2013, and guys who are important to the team and to sport in general, who you want to dedicate this victory to.
Yeah, well, to one of our dearly friends who I'm sure they would have been here, they would have been in Bermuda, and it's Hector Romero. And we all agreed that this win is for him, and to hope that he has a speedy recovery. So Hector, this was for you, mate, from all of us.
And Sean Randall in the end, who narrowly missed out. He got ill just before we came out here. Sean Randall would also have been here.
Sean Randall, he would have been one of the players. I really feel for him. Sean, mate, you know, that's life. And we can't forget Chris Wall. He's been there every morning in the Los Angeles trial course, and he's helped us 1,000 times, mate, over and over again. So Sean, tough lines, man, but we would have liked you to have been here. Chris Wall, carry on, mate, doing what you do. And Hector Romero, speedy recovery, mate, get well.
And so, on the first morning at the very first event, Gibraltar had its first gold medal of the 2013 Games. Its first in any sport other than shooting or tennis since the GFA won the football event in Rhodes in 2007. A perfect day for Gibraltar's triathlon team, and what better way to celebrate than with a dip at the beautiful Clearwater Bay. Elsewhere on the island, squash was in full flow on day one. Mark Tewksbury made it to round 2 of the men's singles before losing to defending champion Nick Taylor of Jersey. Christian Navas also got to round 2, beaten by Bermuda's Cameron Stafford. There was better luck for number 3 seed Anthony Brindle, who progressed to the semis, where he'd play Michael Hopkins of Jersey the following morning. In the women's event, Gail Adias, Zoe Smith and Janet May all made early exits. There were high hopes in pistol shooting, and things were looking good on the opening day. Jonathan Padron and Luis Baglietto led after round 1 of the 10-metre air pistol team event and the 25-metre centre-fire team event, while Jonathan and Daniel Bayas were top after the first round of the 25-metre standard pistol competition. And towards the end of the day, there was news of a medal in tennis, albeit slightly controversial. The ladies' team event only featured 6 teams, and the Gibraltar squad, comprising Lee Whitwell, Danielle Whitfield and Sophia Bengtsson-Cerney, received a bye to the semi-finals. Now, tennis doesn't feature a bronze medal playoff between semi-finalists, so despite losing 3-0 against eventual winners Bermuda, Gibraltar still claimed a bronze. They all count. So, after day 1, Gibraltar's medal tally stood at 1 gold and 1 bronze, with more on the cards for the following day.
Bringing islands together. NatWest, sponsors of the NatWest Island Games 2013.
A veces yo no sé si esto tiene algún sentido, vagabundo, mal nacido. Mira cómo vivo, vivo como puedo, soy un perro.
Sessions every Wednesday at 9 o'clock on GBC. Live music and chats with local musicians.
Mal nacido, mira como vivo, vivo como puedo.
Bermuda, the Gibraltar of the West, a melting pot of British and Caribbean culture, crucial to Great Britain's transatlantic trade and dominance of the Atlantic Ocean over the 18th and 19th centuries. Comprising 181 islands stretched over 53 square kilometres, it boasts a population of 65,000, most of whom live in and around Bermuda's capital town of Hamilton. Bermuda is a wealthy island, and there's evidence of it all around. Resort hotels, clubs, wonderful beaches, yachts and sailboats entice the rich and famous to this fun, laid-back island. It's wonderfully picturesque and perfectly manicured, attracting millionaires from around the world. Among them, Hollywood power couple Michael Douglas and Catherine Zeta-Jones, who've lived on the island since 2002. Bermuda's economy is worth over $6 billion, built on foundations similar to those in Gibraltar. Financial services, in particular insurance, as well as shipping and tourism, are the cornerstones of the economy and are the main contributors to a gross domestic product per capita that exceeds $97,000, the highest of any jurisdiction anywhere in the world. Though the global financial crisis has affected the island to some degree, the Bermudian economy seems to have weathered it well. Bermuda provides a great blend of old and new. It's modern and offers all the amenities and luxuries you'd expect from a high-end holiday resort. But its rich colonial history is still very much in evidence and is crucial to its appeal.
Bermuda has been a British settlement since the early part of the 17th century, when English sailors on their way to British Virginia were shipwrecked and ended up here at St. George's on the eastern tip of Bermuda. And this in itself is the oldest exclusively European settlement in the whole of the Western Hemisphere. Now, all around, you can just see the magnitude of the British influence. Architecture is all around, even the cuisine and Anglican churches are peppered all around the island, and particularly here at St. George's. And over my shoulder is a model replica of the vessel that crashed, which eventually led to British sailors ending up in Bermuda and making it their home.
The Deliverance shipwreck is what changed Bermuda's history forever, and the town of St. George's is a tribute to that. Take a walk down the high street and you could be forgiven for thinking you were back in Gibraltar. The buildings and the vibe all seem very familiar.
The similarities between Bermuda and Gibraltar also extend into politics. They have a governor, their own version of the chief minister, known locally as the premier, and they also have a House of Assembly, which you can now see just over my shoulder. Inside the House, they have 36 MPs, and the system they use is based on the Westminster electoral system, where the first to 19 essentially wins the election. We're also told there's a fairly vitriolic two-party system here in Bermuda, which doesn't sound remotely familiar.
Most of Bermuda's tourism comes from North America, and what they really come for are the beaches. We spent the week travelling around the island on scooters, and every time you turned your head, you'd come across a new beach that looked like it belonged in a travel brochure, or a dream you've had after a long, hard day at work in the middle of winter. Small wonder Americans and Canadians flock here in their hundreds of thousands every year. For 1 week, at least, sport would take centre stage and capture Bermudian attention. For the head of the Bermuda 2013 organising committee, John Beard, hosting the Games was a major landmark for the island.
I think for us, I think there's two things. One is for the Island Games, the local Island Games Association. It's been tremendous because it's actually shown Bermuda what the Games are all about. We've been going away every year for the Games and we report back and everybody thinks that's great. But to actually bring all of these athletes here has been a real eye-opener, I think, for everybody here. And they've loved having 1,500 people from overseas here. So I think that's been a terrific situation. The other thing is to make these games happen has involved bringing so many different parts of Bermuda together. It's made everybody realize what a community is all about, and I think that's, for me, been the most important part of it.
How big a task was it to convince the Island Games Association that Bermuda was worthy of hosting the Games, and when did your campaign really kick off, and what were its origins?
I think our origins were, one of the conditions of joining the Games was that you should be looking to host the Games whenever you can. And we like hosting in Bermuda just like you do in Gibraltar. And so we thought, well, let's do whatever we can to get it here, because we want to show the island off. We want everybody to share with what we've got the way we've shared with other islands. I mean, one of my first games was in Gibraltar for the tennis and the basketball down there. And I had a great time down there, and I thought, well, let's try and bring this here. And that was the main thing. So we started in Rhodes, and we didn't get the bid. We were up against the Isle of Wight. So we said, well, the heck, let's just try again straight away. So as it was awarded to the Isle of Wight, we just, at the meeting, said, well, we want to go for the next one. And everybody seemed to support us, and then we got the next. So at Orland, we were given the Games, and then that always seems like a long way away. And suddenly, before you know, you keep going, oh, that's a year away, that's 6 months away, that's a month away, and suddenly think, good grief. It was when somebody said to me, well, it's going to start tomorrow, that's when you know where you are.
Anyway, back to sport, and Monday, day 2 of competition, the day that most sports got into full swing. Swimming was the first to start at the National Sports Centre pool. First in the water were Carl Pardo and Kenneth Cruz, who both smashed their personal bests in the men's 1,500-metre freestyle. And the young team impressed all day. Kate McCulloch set a new best time in the 50-metre breaststroke. Michael Hitchcock recorded a new PB in the 200 butterfly. while Bodine Redman and Cristina Linares both lowered their best times in the 200 metres freestyle. "17-year-old Sean Pardo made the first final of his short Island Games career, qualifying through the heats of the men's 200 butterfly in a massive personal best of 2 minutes and 19 seconds.
I'm feeling really pleased about first final. Obviously, I was speaking to John Shepherd before the games, and he asked me if what I was hoping to achieve, and I literally didn't expect a final. I told him a final is too much for me, and making a final is amazing, really.
He'd be joined by Colin Benzadon, who made the final of the 100 metres breaststroke, and also the 200 metres individual medley. While the men's 4x50 metre medley team of Benzadon, James Sanderson, Jordan Gonzalez and Oliver Quick also qualified for the evening finals. All boding well in swimming. On court in tennis, the men's squad of James Taylor, Jeremy Boggio and Johan Valverde lost to Bermuda in the quarterfinals of the team event, soundly beaten by 3-0. Meanwhile, 17-year-old debutante Sofia Bengtsson-Cerne was unlucky to lose on a deciding tiebreak to Pauline Nordland of Åland in the last 16 of the women's singles.
I'm very happy. It was a good game and I enjoyed it. It was very long and very hot, but I'm very happy with it.
Badminton got underway at the Bermuda High School with the team event, which featured all 5 of Gibraltar's squad members: Ivan De Aro, Casper Tayassen, Alison Avellano, Severlan Gordon and James Linares. The squad had a tight schedule, playing Guernsey, Bermuda and Greenland on Sunday, with singles, doubles and mixed doubles all planned throughout the week.
It started with we've just played Greenland. You know that we'll be playing 8, 9, 10 games throughout the tournament, so trying to win as many matches as possible. In the doubles, me and Casper just lost in 3 sets. And in the mixed, me and Severlan, we lost the first one 21-17 and then 24-22. So not the start in terms of wins, but definitely in terms of performance. We feel that all the training that we've done over the last few months, we're quite sharp in the ability that we've got. We just finished against Greenland and we've just started 15 minutes later against top favourite Guernsey. And we're just playing the men's singles now. We've put James in there. And me and Casper will be playing the top seeds. We're meeting them in the individual events, so I suppose that's why they don't play us, and we'll definitely give them a run for the money. The men's doubles is one that I'm really enjoying.
Gibraltar would go on to lose all 3 of their group stage matches, but bounced back to beat the Isle of Wight in the playoff for 7th. In squash, Anthony Brindle missed out on a medal in a repeat of what happened at the Isle of Wight 2 years ago, losing to Michael Hopkins of Jersey in the semis of the men's singles, and then to Mika Franklin of Bermuda in the playoff for the bronze medal. On the running track, Carl Baldacchino was 5th in his heat of the men's 800 metres in a time of 2 minutes 05.15. While Gian Chapari was also 5th in his heat in 2:07.02. 15-year-old Zayan Hook made her Island Games debut, running a new personal best of 13.78 in the women's 100 metres. Andrew Gavilla finished 5th in his heat in 12.25. But the plaudits were saved for 19-year-old Geray Torres, who missed out on a place in the final by 0.07 of a second, but in a new national record of 11.27. Clay shooters Harry Murphy and James Sawyer had a fairly good opening day, finishing 6th in the automatic ball trap team event, won eventually by Menorca. Then came the medal surge for Gibraltar. Lying first overnight in the 10-metre air pistol team event, Jonathan Patron and Luis Baglietto shot a collective team total of 1,100 out of 1,200 to beat rivals Scotland to the gold medal by only 3 points. Gibraltar's second gold medal in 2 days.
Finally, a gold medal for you. You must be very, very happy.
Over the moon, in fact. I wanted to get a gold and finally made it possible. Yeah.
What's it like to have Jonathan as a partner?
You're on a winner. Having Jonathan as a partner, you're on a winner. Then again, you know, team event, it's the work of two guys. Jonathan could do his own, I could do it on my own, but yeah, it's great to have him as partner because you know you're going to be fighting for the top of it.
And things got even better for the pair later on in the day, as they bagged a silver in the 25-metre centre fire team event, 45 points behind Scotland. Back in the pool, Sean Pardo touched in 7th in the men's 200 metres butterfly final. Colin Bensadon came up against a strong field and finished 5th in the men's 100-metre breaststroke in a new national record time of 1 minute 05.58. And there was more heartbreak for Colin just minutes later, as he missed out on a medal in the 200 metres individual medley, finishing 4th in a time of 2:08.62, a second and a half off the bronze. Both races were won by Ian Black of Jersey. There was good news in the men's 4x50-metre medley relay final. The quartet of Jordan Gonzalez, James Sanderson, Colin Bensadon and Oliver Quick set another new national record, this time of 1 minute 49.65 en route to finishing 6th, 7 seconds behind winners Guernsey. Gonzalez himself set a new national record for the 50-metre backstroke during the race, swimming his leg in a brilliant 28.67 seconds.
Jim, start off with you. National record in the 4x50 medley relay. You must be feeling quite proud.
Yeah, it was, we've done really, really well, taking 3 seconds off what we did a couple of years ago and finished a lot higher than we probably would have thought we would at the start of the day, so we're really happy with it.
And Jordan, for you, a double celebration, national record of the team and also national record in the 50 as well. You must be feeling very proud.
Yeah, of course, trained hard for it, set my mind to it, wanted to make the time for the Commonwealth, so yeah, I've done pretty well.
The national record, how quick do you think you can go?
Quicker than what I got today, I guess. Yeah.
Ollie, quick race in the end. You came in with a freestyle at the end and you couldn't quite make up the time on the teams occupying first, second and third. How did you feel going into that final leg?
I mean, yeah, it's alright. 50 isn't really my thing, but it was a good swim all around by everyone. And special mention to Jordan, swam out of his skin. It's okay, maybe about 3/4 of a second off his personal best to break the national, as you said, and yeah, happy to break the national with the team. Good race.
And Colin, for you, close but no cigar again. You're making a habit of this.
Well, I mean, the relays, you know, there's some very strong teams. I mean, we've got a very strong team. I mean, like Dim was saying, you know, 3 seconds in 2 years is a big chunk on a 200-meter relay. But, you know, I mean, the relays are the best events to swim. You know, you get all the guys riled up, everybody together, and, you know, there's a few more left, so we'll definitely enjoy those as well.
And you're all fairly young guys. Do you reckon you've got maybe another 1, 2, 3 Island Games together as a team?
Hopefully. I mean, you know, I think it's tough, it's hard, but definitely it swims like this that, you know, keep that fire burning. So hopefully the guys feel the same and we can keep going.
Well done to the boys who'd come to savour more success later on in the games. So, as day 2 of competition ended, Gibraltar looked on course for a solid medal haul, with 2 golds, a silver and a bronze already on the board. Join us next week for part 2 of our 2013 NatWest Island Games review. Among the highlights, Eloise Mañasco goes for her 7th consecutive gold medal in the women's 10-metre air rifle event. Colin Bensadon seeks more glory in the pool. There's a surprise medal on the running track. And we'll bring you all the thrills and spills in tennis, squash, athletics, badminton, sailing and cycling. Plus all the colour, noise and beauty of the Bermudaful island of Bermuda. Join us again in 7 days.